My name is Robert Rubin. I'm the founder of Mysterium Philippines. We are the leading intuitive service provider and educational community in the Philippines. And basically, I got started in this since I was a young kid. I've always had an interest and a passion for everything supernatural, esoteric, and everything in between. People know me as a tarot reader. Okay, they know me as the leading Philippine tarot authority, and that entered my life when I was 14 years old. It's been one of the things that I've been doing a lot of lately, but it's not the only thing that I do. I'm also an intuitive mentor and a manifestation coach, and part of pretty much my life mission is to help other intuitives, psychics, mutants, as I like to call them, come together and have a place where they can feel safe, learn to develop their skills, and feel like they belong.
Can you give us a short story on how you started?
Well, I was a kid. This is a very funny story. Well, I forgot how old I was. You know, I'm turning 40, so you know there's rust in the Cracker Barrel. But we were visiting my dad's ex-girlfriend. Don't ask me why, okay? I was probably like 7, 8, 9. I don't know how old I was. And then I remember she had these books. They were released in the 80s, and they were called Time Life, Mysteries of the Unknown. So I asked her, Tita, can I read those? She said, oh, sure. She had the whole set. And I used to see this on TV a lot. And there were different topics, ancient mysteries, psychic powers, witches, warlocks, you name it. Very popular book. The older crowd knows about it. And at that young age, I just devoured it all. And my mom woke up the next day. She saw me like surrounded by these books, just looking at them. And she's like, did you sleep at all? I was like, no. I was just absorbing all of this. Like, naturally, it came to me. And that was just like the tip of the iceberg. In other words, I knew there was more. So afterwards, it kind of lit a fire under my ass. Like, no, I want to know more about this. I started looking around. I would go to my school library looking for information. And it wasn't until I found out that there were actual occult bookstores. You know what I mean? Back in the Bay Area, we had this very popular bookstore called the Psychic Eye. It was a chain of bookstores that used to specialize in selling these things. And eventually I'd go in there. But, you know, as you grow up, you ain't got no cash. So luckily somebody found me, mentored me, and afterwards it just became my life calling.
What was your scariest experience?
You know, I like to say the words of John Constantine. You see them, they see you. Okay? I used to have a TV show in GMA back in the day called Mysterium. And one of the scariest things was witnessing somebody get possessed. That was the highest grossing episode. Who had to perform an exorcism for this girl. But I've also realized that there are forces out there that don't really like it when you meddle, when you try to help people, when you try to, you know, be there for them. They don't like the way that you're, operating. They want to just shut you down. And time again have I felt the presence of something trying to prevent me from getting to the right market, to the right people, to helping people. And you kind of know that there's really something that wants to get in your way. And it's beyond coincidence, because if it's just once, it's a coincidence. But if it's like 6 times, it's a pattern. So part of my scariest incidents would be like my first book, Defensive Occultism. That book was literally cock-blocked by the universe for like 7 years. Every time we tried to edit it, every time we tried to fix it, prepare it, one thing after another, just didn't work. And it got really creepy when I was like about to throw in the towel. I was like, you know what? Pardon my French direct, fuck this book. If the universe doesn't want me to have it, I'm deleting it all. And my best friend said, hey, give me a crack at it. I'll edit it. And if I can't edit it, then delete it. So I was like, all right, fine. I'll give you a crack at it. You got 2 weeks. He edited it. He laid it out perfectly. So I was like, all right, step 1 is done. Next is the layout. The layout was fine. Everything was complete. I said, okay, I'm just looking forward to printing this book. All right, that's the last thing we need to do. Everything's done. Just print it. So I went to the printer and I told them, I said, all right, I hear that you guys can print this in 3 days. The minute I saw the physical copy of this book, I know that the mission was accomplished. So what happened was, I said, yeah, we can have your first copy in 3 days. Just come back in 3 days and we're going to have it ready. So like, all right, looks like foot's in the door. So what happened was, put my down payment, ready to have my book printed. 3 days later, I come back. I said, ma'am, I'm here to pick up my copy of the book. The lady's face was white. I'm like, is there something wrong? Sir, please come with me. I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, what's wrong? I said, sir, we have tried several times to print this book. We have copied the file. We've asked for revisions. We've emailed it. Every time they would print it, and they did it right in front of me. They printed it out, black, lahat. The pages were all black. And I was like, holy shit. What does not want this book to come out? She said, sir, there's one last option. We have an older printer in Bulacan. It's old tech. if that works, we can print your book. But if not, we got to refund your money. Luckily, it worked. But that book never took off. That book has always been what I call the astrally opposed book, because there were forces that didn't want that book to come out. And ever since then, I kind of let it go. People have asked me for a sequel. They've asked me for a re-release, but I've sold all the copies. It's available for ebook purchase on my website, but I'm kind of like done with that version of my career already. I can still do it. I can still do the whole paranormal and supernatural investigation thing, but I kind of realized I'd put my life at jeopardy if I continued doing that. So I'd focus more on developing people and empowering them.
Can you give us a walkthrough on your process or your mental process?
When I read for people, I tell them three things: where they've been, where they are, and where they could be going. I can tell you where you've been, I can tell you where you are, because there's no changing that. But where you could be going is completely up to you. All right? Why do I say that? Because I believe that no reader, healer, mystic, fortune teller, feng shui master has the right or even the ability to tell you that anything is set in stone. Okay? So when I'm about to do a reading, I realize that I want to uplift this person's life. I want to empower them. I don't want to take the power from them. I'm not going to tell you, John, your girlfriend's going to leave you tomorrow and there's nothing you can do about it. That's taking your power. Instead, I'm ready for the fact that what I want to do is give John an experience that's going to help him feel more empowered, give him more peace of mind and clarity. Basically, I'm holding space for you. Now, if the person is heavy, I'm going to have a very large brewed coffee with me because I'm going to need that extra juice, okay? But in most cases, I'll pretty much put myself in a space to give back and to come from compassion. Because too many readers come from this air of arrogance. Like, no, I'm the reader and I'm telling you this, and if you don't like it, that's not my problem. But tarot is actually meant to give people a sense of, how do I say, uplifting, a sense of hope. If you're doing that, you're doing the tarot reading properly. More importantly, you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the person. So I'm really in a position where I'm ready to give. That's why if I'm sick, I'm depressed, I'm down, I'll tell you, even if you have a scheduled reading, hey, John, I'm not at my 100%. You deserve me at my 100%. We can either reschedule or I can refund. But I'm not going to give you a half-assed reading. Because at the end of the day, I want to give the person hope. If I cannot do that, I will reschedule or even cancel the reading. Now, that also goes to show that I don't work with everyone. If I don't like you, I don't resonate with you, you're not going to get a reading with me. Simple as that. Like if Donald Trump wanted a reading for me, not going to happen. Okay? So that's basically my whole idea of when I give readings. I'm not going to tell somebody that their fate is set in stone. At the end of the day, you can change the outcome of any reading. And I make it very clear to the people I work with that that's the reality. Because too many readers want you to think that there's nothing you can do about it. That way they can upsell you to high heavens. I don't believe in doing that. And Mysterium Philippines doesn't do that either.
What kind of anxieties do you get when you practice?
None. Reading is like ultra instinct to me. I can do it with my eyes closed. I mean, you put me in front of Tony Robbins and I'll read for him. You put me in front of, like, I'll give you one funny story. I am an MMA enthusiast. I'm not a fighter, okay? But one of the reasons I got into jiu-jitsu was because of the former UFC champion, Frank Mir. And I remember telling my ex-wife at the time, she was my wife, but now she's my ex-wife, one of these days, I'm going to read the tarot for Frank Mir. I didn't say I'm going to spar with him. He's going to kick my ass. I'm going to read the tarot. And she said, yeah, whatever. What do you think happened in 2017? I sent her a photo. Guess who I'm with in Las Vegas? And guess who I read the tarot for? So when I'm reading for people, I don't get any anxiety because at the end of the day, I know how to shut off the ego. It's really just about, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And if you accept it, good. If you don't, I'm sorry. You only get anxiety if you're trying to put up a front and look good. But if you're coming from authenticity, and authenticity, which is the highest form of self-compassion, you have nothing to be anxious about because it's you. You know what I mean? It's just me. I'm being authentic. I'm going to show the real me. So if you put me in front of Tony Robbins right now, I would shake his hand, and the first thing I would ask him would say, Mr. Robbins, can I read the tarot for you? I would do it. You put me in front of President Biden, I would do the same thing as well. Because that's the best I have to offer. I'm not going to tell him, can I draw a picture for you? I suck at art. I'd rather give him the best of what I can offer, and the tarot is it.
What struggles did you have when you were still starting?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Number one, a lot of people think back in the day, because I started like early 90s. If we roll the clock back 20 years ago, when you thought the word tarot reading, people say, Madam Maureen Quiapo, that's circus sideshow, it's con artistry, right? That's what they would think, right? So one of the thrusts that Mysterium had was we wanted to support the Tarosophy belief of restoring the spiritual dignity of the tarot. So he's like, shit, we gotta be the game changers. We gotta give people something to believe in. We gotta get people to take this seriously. But a lot of people, it's bullshit, it's fake, it's con artistry. So a lot of people were doing that. the opposite was also true. There were people who would abuse the practice to high hell. I had clients calling me 3 in the morning. I had clients whose wives of people in the government sending the police or the military to pick me up. One funny story was this, although I don't want to give any names. I had one big-time client who was really a suki of mine, and her husband was way up there in the government, okay? She knew where I lived when I was still single. I lived in the fort. And she would always send the sargento or the private to come get me. They would always come, ma'am, si ma'am so-and-so would like to see you right now. And it wasn't just for a call reading. That bitch wanted me to go to her house. So it's like no respect of time. So one day, I had a date. I had a date with Wency, for example. We were gonna meet back then at Greenbelt in the old coffee bean where Hermes is now. And the stupid thing about me was I told my roommate I was gonna have a date and I was gonna be in Greenbelt. So when the sargento came, where's Robert? He said, oh, he's not here, he has a date. I think he's in Greenbelt. Fucking moron. Okay, so what happened? Sargento tells this corrupt lady, ma'am, wala si Robert doon. Ay, i-deploy mo a team of 5. Hanapin mo siya. Now, you'd think it was just 5 guys looking for it. These guys came in BDU with M16s, BDU battle dress uniform. Fatigues with M16s. Next thing you know, I'm talking to this girl trying to be pa-cute. Yeah, so how are you, bro? Next thing you know, her face turns white. Is there something wrong? And I look behind me, 1 soldier, 2 soldier. I'm like, what the fuck? And then one of them approaches me, sir, ikaw si Robert? I'm like, yeah. Can you please come with us? Ma'am so-and-so is looking for you. I'm like, I got a date. I'm like, can you come back later? Hindi, you come with us now. And he marched me out of that place. 5 of them, 5 freaking soldiers. Needless to say, that girl never talked to me again. She thought I was like NPA or something. And I thought that it was like some sort of emergency or something. Nope, it was just, I want to buy this property, blah, blah, blah. So those kind of people, those abusive clients, helped me understand the meaning of the definition of what I call the NTE, the negative tarot experience. That was a negative tarot experience. So after I got married, had my family, I didn't even tell this lady where I lived. I changed my phone number because I didn't want to be harassed anymore. So you got to be careful for that if you're a tarot reader. There are going to be people who are going to want to read with you right now. They're not going to wait, and they're going to bully you. And there's so many short-handed tactics people pull just to get more out of their readings. The thing is, I've already documented how it works, you know what I mean? And I teach that in the Mysterium Intro to the Tarot program. I tell them, if they're calling you for a follow-up reading, always make it by appointment. Because one dick move people do is like, John asked me for a reading, I read for him, then later on in the evening, oh shit, Rob, you were right about that reading. The girl called me. Can you draw a card for me? Does she like me? That's a dick move. He's not paying for it. I'm off the clock. So one of the tactics I use is, hey, John, brother, I'm sorry, but I don't have my deck with me. But if you want, we can schedule you for a session tomorrow if you make payment. You see what I mean? So watch out for that tactics. If you're a young reader and you're seeing this, people are going to try to pull that on you. That's some of the stuff I felt with as well. People who don't know boundaries. They call you off after office hours. They don't respect your private time. Very common as a tarot reader coming up.
What kind of qualities does a esoteric man need to succeed?
Resilience, non-conformity, authenticity, and compassion. Why?
Can you elaborate?
Resilience. It's not easy. All this love and light bullshit that people talk about, that's just level 1. It's like a video game. The first level is always easy, right? Then level 2, level 3, level 4, level 7, it's like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Okay, so the deeper you get into it, the harder it's gonna get. All right? Number 2, authenticity. Do you know you? Do you know what you want to be? Are you doing this to look good, or are you doing this because you're authentic? Remember, authenticity is the highest form of self-compassion. Compassion for self and compassion for others. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be the lone mutant, right? You want to have other people you talk to. You want to be part of a community. Resilience. It's going to get difficult. And the question is, at the end of the day, is this the life you want? Do you really want to be part of this life? Because when the minute things get difficult for you, what's going to happen is you're going to be like, fuck this, man. I'm not even meant for this shit. And you're going to give it up. That's just the first boss. If you give up the game at the first boss character, you're never going to see the ending. So you need that level of resilience. When people read for me, there are 2 things I will never answer. Dates of death and lottery numbers, okay? If a person said, okay, when is Vincent gonna die? I will never answer that. Lottery numbers, if I knew them, don't you think I'd use them for myself? So those are the 2 things I will not answer. Now, the most difficult thing a person would ask me usually is this person my twin flame? Okay? Is this person my soulmate? It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I've even also been asked, who's gonna win the elections? You know what I mean? Let's see if that thing turns out the way it is. Okay? Another one though sometimes is this person cheating on me? Are they faithful? Those kind of things, it gets a bit heavy. I really like it when people ask me these deep existential questions. Like, I'm planning on shifting my career to public service and I'm gonna join an ashram and feed the poor. Is this aligned with my higher purpose? I'm like, damn, bro, I'll give you an extra question. It really depends from person to person. The deeper the question, the more challenged I am.
Do you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years? Are you still doing this?
Hell yeah.
Why?
I literally see myself dying teaching a class. That I'm gonna drop dead during a class. I hope you guys aren't part of that class, because that means it's gonna happen soon. But I've dedicated my life to this. I've dedicated so much to this community, to this practice, that this is really the only way to go for me. Now, the reason that I put this up is because when I was coming up, there was nowhere to go to feel safe. Everybody was on their own. So it's like, imagine being a mutant and having no other mutants around, or being gay and having no other gay people around. Imagine how isolating that feels. And then, that's why I'm very supportive of the LGBT community, because they have the same problems we have. Okay, imagine you're the only gay person in the city and everybody else is telling you something is wrong with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you, but just these people don't understand what's going on with you. That's not your fault. This is natural, okay? You shouldn't have to change who you are. It's the same thing if you're intuitive, if you see dead people, if you pick up energies. So the thrust of Mysterium is to create a safe space to develop intuitive potential. That's why Mysterium exists. Our job is to create a safe space that if you guys want to learn the tarot, you guys want to learn intuition, you guys want to learn energy healing, you can come here and know you are safe. Simple as that. We're also an LGBT safe space. If you're LGBT, we will gladly accept you. Another nice thing about Mysterium, it's perfectly balanced. We have light workers, more power to them. We have dark workers, more power to them. I've seen dark workers take up healing. I've seen light workers take up sorcery. At the end of the day, there's something for everybody. This is not some sort of first order thing with the Knights of Ren, no. This is also not some sort of, fluffy bunny, love and light, running into fields with eating vegan food, no. It's a perfect balance of both. There's something for everybody.
Can you give us like a detailed explanation of what you love the most about your job?
The people. It's just the connecting to people. You see people really in their most vulnerable of forms, and you build some serious relationships. I've had people start off as fans of Tarot Thursdays, took up my courses, became my student, became a mentor. I've seen people grow. And when you see people grow and they start getting celebrated, you begin to realize, I never had that, but I can give that to someone, and that really gives a fulfilling existence to you. To the skeptics, you're allowed to believe what you want to believe. Okay? I'm not going to argue with you. All right? Just don't come to my door saying what you're doing is wrong, because I'll fucking kick you. Okay? You don't believe it, you don't need to come here. Now, for those of you who want to learn, you're not alone. We're here for you. If you want a safe space to develop your skills from qualified people, okay, people who have been properly trained, you can come here. So people ask, well, Rob, what's your qualification for being a tarot teacher? 26 years of reading, is that enough? 500 students and above, is that enough? Changing the name of tarot in the Philippines, is that enough? If it is, then come on over. If it's not, I recommend the guy I look up to, Marcus Katz. He's just doing what I did on a global level. More power to him. He's the founder of Tarosophy and an author of way more many books than I am. That guy up to now, shout out to Marcus Katz. Every time I get a reading for him, I think I'm badass with the tarot. Then he reads for me and he makes me his bitch. I'm just like, and I love that feeling. I love it. I pay for that. I pay good money for that because it's nice to be on the receiving end of a good reading. I'm always the one giving the reading, and then here comes this wizard guy from the UK and just mops the floor with me. I think, yeah, I know what he's gonna do. Nope, he always surprises me. He's like Gandalf to me when it comes to tarot. If you feel you're one of us, we're here for you, okay? If you don't know what courses to take, we have several entry-level programs that you can join, from tarot. Basically, it speaks for itself. To learn to read the tarot, intuitive awakenings, develops your intuition. Manifestation, work on the entry-level parts of manifestation. And of course, Reiki energy healing, our chosen energy healing modality. There's really something for everybody. But we can't come to you. You have to come to us. All right? Visit us on Facebook, Mysterium Philippines, or mysteriumphilippines.org. Or if you want to know more about me, visit my official fan page, Rob Rubin Readings on Facebook, Instagram, or robrubinreadings.com on the web.